Good morning, all. Can you hear me all right? Excellent. Good morning and welcome to the 2024 State of the Space Industrial Base workshops on OuterNet and advanced power and propulsion. I'm Michael Doyle, president of Space Northwest, and it is my deep pleasure to welcome you all here. On behalf of Space Northwest, NewSpace Nexus, our partners at the Defense Innovation Unit, U.S. Space Force Air Force Research Lab, Redmond Space District, and the City of Kent. I will just give you a little rundown of what the program looks like today. We're going to start now with our leadership remarks. We'll go into a talk and a panel on the space economy in the Pacific Northwest. We'll do a break. After that, there's a co-innovation session, something new that we're doing this year on workforce development and STEM education. And then we'll go into working groups. Lunch will be at 12:45, and following that, additional working groups. Clint Crozier will be our keynote at 3:30, and our reception for the event will be at the Doubletree in Tukwila at starting at 5. Tomorrow, there's going to be additional working sessions, and we'll do our outbrief and wrap up. So just to give you a little bit of a rundown there. And a little bit of background on Space Northwest. We are a nonprofit that is dedicated to maximizing the impact of the Pacific Northwest on humanity's future in space. And part of our mission is making the connections that will foster that. The strength of an ecosystem is in its connections. And last year, we did the workshops with NewSpace Nexus, and I talked about the importance of connection in evolution, right? And we are at a stage of evolution of our industry, but also of humanity itself, taking this step beyond the cradle of Earth. So we had wonderful connection, wonderful discussion last year, and what has come about from that is continued evolution. This week is Space Week in our region, and this one event, this workshop, kind of became the anchor for a whole bunch of different things that were coinciding, as well as also generated by Space Northwest. The exhibit at the Museum of Flight, Humans Beyond Earth, just happened to be opening at the same time. We had a space entrepreneurs talk the other night, an AI and space discussion with the Washington Tech Industry Association. This workshop, this conference, the reception, and Spaceball put on by Space Happy Hour, all indications of how we are growing and strengthening as an ecosystem and as an industry. So one of the things that was really interesting to me was when the Museum of Flight had its opening day exhibit, right? A grand opening of the Humans Beyond Earth exhibit, and Erica Wagner from Blue Origin, one of our local luminaries in the space field, gave an amazing talk about orbital reef and about Blue Origin's plans to do in situ resource utilization, making solar cells from the dust of the moon, right? The whole thing, right? They've got amazing plans. And it's all part of this vision of building a road to space for the benefit of Earth. That's how Blue Origin states it, right? And we talk in this conference a lot about vision, right? And we all have vision that's really important. There are maybe a few different ways of expressing it, but the vision that we have, I think we can agree, is about finding a future in space that aligns with our shared values, democratic principles, appreciation for human rights and the environment. I'm kind of taking those notes from last year's State of the Space Industrial Base report. The realization of this vision is not assured. As I was listening to Erica's talk, and also hearing some of the conversations that we had in Albuquerque the week before last about where the United States sits relative to the ambitions of other actors, it dawned on me, well, what happens to that vision if another actor says no? We need to ensure that we can achieve the vision that we have. And that's why this conference, your participation, is so important. Everyone who's here, from the industry representatives and experts, our government officials, elected officials, thank you so much for joining us. This is work that will benefit humanity for generations to come. So I'll move on from there and just say a thank you to my colleagues at Space Northwest, our board of directors, James Burke, Sean McClinton, advisor Stan Schull, and Brooke Wessel, who've put in a lot of work into the to what's going on this week. Further evolution, our Alliance Leadership Board, which is a group of space industry professionals and other connected individuals who are driving and representing the industry in the Pacific Northwest. Our sponsors for the reception tonight, the Washington State Department of Commerce, City of Tukwila, and Space Northwest corporate sponsor, Moss Adams. As well as our organizers. I'm not going to read through every name on the list, but a lot of people put a lot of work into making the event that we're going to be going through over the next day and a half, and we are deeply appreciative of everyone who participated in that. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Casey DeRaad, CEO of NewSpace Nexus, who will give a little bit of framing remarks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for participating in what we call a very participatory conference. This is actually a workshop. I'm Casey Anglada DeRaad, and I am the CEO of NewSpace Nexus. NewSpace Nexus is a nonprofit that with a vision to grow the space industry from New Mexico for the nation. And so a little bit about our organization is we really look to how to support the space industry. And part of that role is we have some programming that helps connect the industry to the resources they need to get to funding, to get to connections, to get to workforce. So we have a number of programs within that for we have an incubator. We think everything about that space industry perspective and what they need. And so one of our taglines is that we unite and ignite space. Uniting, bringing together all the stakeholders, trying to break down those silos to help companies like us, again, get to the resources. And then the ignite is to provide those resources so that the space industry can go faster. Part of doing this is we have the honor of leading the State of the Space Industrial Base conferences and workshops. We've been hosting the SSIB, shorter, that's a mouthful, the State of the Space Industrial Base. I can say it because I've been saying it for 4 or 5 years, but so we call it SSIB for short. We do this with key partners, key government partners. We've worked with the Defense Innovation Unit, the Space Force. Previously, it has been more of their chief scientist, CTIO office, and then the Air Force Research Lab. This last year, we had a couple other key partners come on board, and that is the COMSO office, the new Space Force commercial space office, and also the part of Space Systems Command, their innovation and prototyping unit, Delta. And so what we do is we work with those key partners on what are the like the challenging areas they need to hear from industry. And so we set up these working groups in these topic areas with them. And then our SSIB conferences, you saw from the agenda, there's working group times. And so what we need from industry, and I would say the conferences and the workshops generally are about 80% industry participation. We need to hear from you. And so the working groups or these new co-innovation sessions we are setting up are, we really try and get to, okay, what's the current state? What are some inflection points or challenges, but then inflection points if we don't do something about those challenges? And then what are recommendations? And from all of this, the conference, working groups, these co-innovation sessions, it feeds to an annual report. And I don't know if how many have seen the previous SSIB reports. Anyone? They're very valuable. But with those, they get to the hands of legislators, government leaders, and they've made a difference. These hearing from industry on, what is needed to make sure that our nation's space industrial base stays strong, makes it to those leaders, and there has been change and funding and thought leadership based around what comes from these workshops. So I hope you find it is important. It's important. I'm very happy that you're here to participate with us. And we just hope that you can stick it out. We have we have 2 working group topics that we're going to go through the sessions today. One's advanced space power and propulsion. And the working groups, I believe, are going to be in this room. We'll tell you more in a bit. And then we have the outer net, which is a hybrid space architecture, starting to kind of get it named as outer net, and that will be in a room down the hall. And then we started this year where we have these co-innovation sessions, and they're really where we don't want the industry folks to go off in the separate groups and then not be able to contribute. So we do this with the full group where we'll go through some of the discussion points. But back to the Space Northwest partnership. So NewSpace New Mexico started hosting the State of the Space Industrial Base conference and workshop with those key partners back in 2020. But in, 2022, we decided, hey, let's do the working group of commercial space launch in Florida, because a lot of those companies are in that area. And so we partnered with Space Florida. And then last year, there's a lot of the hybrid space architecture. There's nuclear power companies here in the Northwest. So we partnered with Space Northwest to host these workshops. And we've been happy to partner. Like I say, NewSpace Nexus, we say we're growing the space industry from New Mexico for the nation. But to us, we love to partner, share best practices with other groups, and hopefully we have a little part in growing that space industry from Northwest for the nation with Space Northwest. So happy to be partnering. Thank you very much.